Well, back in 2017, I met this guy, Loan Bensadon, in a food tech acceleration program in Madrid that was organized by myself and other partners. Um, Loan is the founder of Baïa Foods. It's an immense pleasure to have you here, Loan.
Hello, Pedro. Thank you very much. Actually, yes, I remember well when we met for the first time at Food Evolutions. It was a really nice time there. We learned a lot. And best of all, we got to meet each other. And yes, I'm very happy to be here today. Actually, after nice 2 days in the F Talks, the food tech event venue,
I
that was
know, and
very
you have
nice.
some good news to
Yes,
share.
yes, fresh news. Actually, we we've been granted the first prize for the most innovative startup. Actually, with another startup called Anina, which is very nice. Actually, I don't know
From
if you
Israel. Yeah, I know her.
yes,
It's an
yes,
amazing woman.
culinary art. I think I thought you would know them. Very nice, and the jury decided to give the prize to both of us. So we're really happy. And yeah, so thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks
Congratulations.
for inviting me to be here and partake in this nice event.
Okay, we have some minutes left until 10, 11, sorry. So go
Yeah.
ahead and tell us
Okay.
what you do, guys.
Okay. So, as you said, my name is Luan Bensadon. Actually, I'm co-founder of Baïa. Guillermo is my co-founder, and actually, um, I would like to make a presentation if you're okay with that. Maybe I can share my
Go
screen
ahead, please,
and
please.
tell a little
Yes,
bit about our story. Okay.
sure.
So let me check here in Zoom. How can I do the sharing screen? So mm, compartir pantalla. Okay. Let me know if you are seeing my presentation. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Perfect. So, during this little presentation, I'm going to tell you a little story about a startup that was born in 2013, and we called Baïa because in Spanish, Baïa means berry. And actually, the idea behind the whole startup was to change the world thanks to a very special and miracle berry. So all starts when with a plant. Actually, it's a plant from the family of the Sapotaceae. It's a shrub which is endemic or native from the Gulf of Guinea, countries like Ghana, Benin, Togo, and Cote d'Ivoire. And in the 18th century, actually, there was an adventurer and an explorer called Chevalier des Marchés who was traveling across the Gulf of Guinea, and he had his notebook. So, as all good explorer and scientist, he was taking his notes and talking to the locals as good as he could, and observing them. And actually, he was there. They had traditional food made of sour palm and a porridge, and he'd been a few days there eating their food, and actually he didn't really like that food because it was actually sour, right? Um, and normally in the Western customs, we eat our fruits after the meal for the dessert. He noticed after a few days that the locals were chewing on berries before the meal. And actually, one day he did that. So he changed the order of eating his berries before the meal, and that changed everything. And he called this berry the miracle berry. Actually, this little fruit, it's a small size, olive size berry, which with a seed inside. And you know, nature, it's is the best laboratory, the best R&D department of any any company. And Nathan made this berry with a fleshy part around the seed, so we can really roll it on our tongue and chew on it. And why that? Because when you chew on this berry and you suck on it for a few moments, it makes sour beverage and foods taste sweet. And this may sound as something very, you know, special, magical. In the 18th century, they thought it was a miracle. But actually, for the people there in West Africa, it's something that they've known for centuries and even for millennia. But here in Europe, we've never heard about that. And when 8 years ago we heard about a berry that could transform the perception of taste, we were really, really caught up by the idea of helping people making sweeter food without the bad effects of sweeteners, actually. This berry is very, very special, very delicate. So as soon as you pick it from the tree, it starts to degrade. It loses ability to modify the taste, and it has to be picked very early in the morning, hand-picked, etc. But when researchers try to uncover what was the actually the bioactive, what was the molecule that was responsible for the taste modifying effect, they stumbled upon actually a very big surprise, because it was not a sugar, it was not a small molecule, it was a protein, and they called it miraculin. Miraculin was the first protein that was isolated and identified to have an effect on taste. Till now, until the 70s, actually, when they discovered and they analyzed the structure of miraculin, the only molecules that would elicit a sweet taste were small molecules, were sugars or small sweeteners, but all of them binding to the active side of the sweet receptors we have on our tongue. And when they uncovered that actually the molecule was a big protein, proteins are much bigger than sugars, they were astounded, and they called it miraculin. That was why. Actually, let's try to see a video we've done about the mechanism of action of miraculin and how it works, so you can understand a little bit better about the mechanism and how it works. Let me know if you hear. Are you hearing or not?
No, we see the video, but we
Okay.
don't hear it.
Okay, so I thought it could be it would be like that. So basically, I'm gonna just tell it. Miraculin, when you chew on a berry or you eat anything containing miraculin, goes and binds to your sweet receptors on the tongue, but exclusively to the sweet receptors. Doesn't bind to other receptors, bitter, acidic, or salty, even umami receptors. And afterwards, just immediately after chewing on a berry or a tablet, for example, made of this berry, of the pulp of this berry, we will perceive anything acidic or sweet or sour as sweet, thanks to a taste modifying effect made by miraculin. And when we saw the potential of such an ingredient for the food industry, but not only, and then I'm gonna go a little bit into the applications and how we are gonna use this special berry to improve our dietary habits. We stumbled upon the novel food regulation. For those of you who are not acquainted with this EU regulation, basically, the European Food Safety Authority has to issue a favorable opinion on the safety of any food that has not been consumed since 1997, an arbitrary date when the regulation came into force. And this has to be done through the presentation of a dossier by the company who wants to put this novel food on the market. So we went to 8 years ago to see an expert in regulatory affairs, the professor Andreu Palau, who actually was had been vice president of the nutrition committee at the European Food Safety Authority, assessing novel foods. And we asked about his opinion on should we go or not go through a novel food process. And he reviewed all the data, all the publication we had gathered for him. And he said, yeah, if we have a good strategy, I don't see why the Food Safety Authority shouldn't approve it. But this was actually much harder than it seemed. And we want to see other people very high placed at Abbott Nutrition, at the pharmaceutical company, at Nutricia Danone, and they all told us the same, that novel food is something that even the big companies don't do, because it's very uncertain, it's very costly, and at the time it didn't really give any protection. So we waited a bit. We started to work on a product which actually was the freeze-dried powder of this berry. We blended the pulps and the skins of the berry, and we obtained what we call DMB, dried miracle berry, a whole fruit powder, which is full spectrum because it contains all the actives and phytoactives of the fresh fruit. And after 8 years, we've finally obtained the novel food authorization after making all the safety assessment, toxicology, allergenicity, characterization, etc., of the ingredient, and now we are on the verge of launching very innovative, because it's there's nothing on the market that can make an acidic food taste sweet, or a taste modifier like miraculin, like DMB. Exclusive because we've been granted 5 years exclusivity from the European Commission to market this product in the European community. We say it's naturally functional because we don't add anything, or we don't make any change in the structure of the protein. We just identified something in nature, and we're bringing it to the market for the benefit of society, and also of the smallholders and agricultures that rely on this crop. And sustainable. Actually, the value chain is simple, but delocalized in 2 places. We focused on the cultivation, harvesting, quality control, and primary processing in West Africa.
1 minute left.
Okay, so in West Africa, we do this, and then we import the product to Europe for freeze drying, where we have the infrastructure and all the quality standards we need. And then we obtain a freeze dried powder, which is the ingredient we've been approved as novel food, and the base or the matrix for other formulations. We do this in under ethical and sustainable standards. We process our berries in the factory of our shareholder and industrial partner HPW, a Swiss German company which uses solar panels, solar biogas, etc. And we are on the verge of obtaining the B Corp certification. We're already been communicated that we passed the evaluation and assessment, and in the next few months we'll be a B Corp company. So we want to really help curb the problem of obesity, of sugar consumption, and we know it's a big pandemic, and it's really causing a lot of pain to our society and to our people and our children. And we think that with a new ingredient, with a tool that can help reduce the use of artificial sweeteners and sugar, but without sacrificing sweet taste, we can really do a good favor to society, and that's why we're working on that. Also, taste disorders, people under chemotherapy that develop this side effect, which is rosacea, and we're going to start a clinical trial in the next few months with La Paz. And we are really involved in R&D. We invest a lot in R&D. We are an innovative SME by EU standards, and we're going to continue doing that. But of course, now we have to start selling, and we're looking for partners, mainly in the clinical nutrition and food supplement industry, to go and to continue developing alternatives and products for the food industry in the mid-long term. So yeah, thank you very much. Sorry for being a little bit longer.
Lovely presentation and so well articulated. Now we understand exactly your value proposition, and we really we understand why your company is so successful and will be.
Thank you.
Successful.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Loan, for being with us.
Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure, and thanks for organizing something like this, for helping the ecosystem to come together and being a facilitator for innovation for startup like us. It's really, really appreciated and really needed. Thanks, Pedro.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Stay with us. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And now we are welcoming another guest. She is Michelle.